A missing cat traveled nearly 900 miles across multiple states to reunite with his family after he disappeared while they were on vacation. Benny and Susanne from Salinas, California were on an RV camping trip with their 2 cats last summer. In Yellowstone, something spooked their cat Rayne Beau. Despite being on a leash, he broke free of his collar and ran straight into the forest. For 4 days, the couple searched desperately, and despite a park ranger's warning that Rayne Beau's chances of survival were slim due to the local wildlife, they searched until the last possible moment. They eventually had no choice but to head home, calling Rayne Beau's name out between sobs as they drove away. On their drive, Susanne spotted a double rainbow, which she considered a glimmer of hope. And 2 months later, she received an unbelievable phone call that Rayne Beau had been found in Roseville, California, nearly 900 miles from the campground and only around 200 miles from home. It turns out, a Roseville woman named Alex arrived at work one day and heard distressed cries from a cat. She spent days feeding him and building trust with him before she was finally able to bring him to a shelter where his microchip revealed his identity. When Benny and Susanne picked him up the next day, they found that he'd lost nearly half of his body weight, but he was still fighting. It's still a mystery how Rayne Beau was able to travel so far, but the theory is that he managed to hitch a ride with someone who just happened to be headed towards home. He's back to his healthy weight, and he's even more affectionate than ever. His humans have fitted him with a GPS collar in case he gets any more big ideas. A man who mows overgrown lawns for free recently found an injured animal while he was on the job, and he ended up keeping an entire cat sanctuary alive after searching for someone to help. Spencer from Esbee Mowing has made a name for himself by finding the most overgrown lawns and cleaning them up for free. A few months ago, he was actually on his way to another job when he took a wrong turn and drove by this abandoned house. The weeds were so overgrown that they were covering the sidewalk, causing an accessibility issue, and Spencer knew right away that he wanted to take care of it. While he was working, he spotted a cat curled up in the weeds, not really moving. He let Spencer pet him and even pick him up, but he had a bad injury under one of his legs. Spencer called around, and there was only one rescue that said that they could help: Edgar and Ivy's cat sanctuary in Corpus Christi. Their director, Anissa, took him straight to their medical center where he was treated for severely infected wounds. And Spencer was so thankful to the sanctuary that he offered to share a donation fund to his millions of followers, hoping to raise around $10,000. What he didn't know at the time was that Anissa was actually on the verge of having to close the sanctuary due to finances, and she said that $10,000 would be life-changing. Spencer's supporters went above and beyond and ended up raising $185,000. Now, instead of closing, Edgar and Ivy's has been able to rescue 630 more cats since Spencer first came in. The sanctuary ultimately decided to adopt the cat, now named Esbee. He's healthy, and he's even strongly bonded with another resident cat. A woman was recently sent into a panic when she noticed something small and black moving strangely in the middle of a partially frozen lake. Upon closer inspection, she realized that it was a terrified cat, walking in circles on a thin sheet of ice out on the Massachusetts lake. Dawn immediately called animal control, but before they arrived, she heard the sound that she was dreading: crackling ice followed by a splash. The cat had plunged into the freezing water with only his tiny head visible above the surface. And what nobody knew at the time was that this was Tiki, a 20-year-old blind cat who had managed to slip out of his home the night before. As Dawn frantically called animal control back to check on their arrival time, 2 construction workers from a nearby job site sprang into action. Nate hopped into a rowboat by the edge of the lake and used his shovel as a paddle, while his colleague Chris got into the freezing water to help push the boat through the ice as far as he could. They managed to rescue Tiki just in time, and once he was on land, animal control rushed him to the vet. Despite his critically low body temperature, he miraculously pulled through, and when his worried family saw videos on social media of the rescue, they headed straight to the vet for an emotional reunion. These days, Tiki is back home, cozy and warm indoors, acting as if his incredible misadventure never even happened.